Namaste, mi familia. If you struggle with present moment awareness, this video is for you. So let's break it down about what it means to live in the present moment and how we can do a better job of doing that. So present moment awareness is having that consciousness experience that we're here in the here and now. We're not focused on the past and the problems and the things that we've had in our past, and we're also not worrying about the future. We're just focused on where we are right now in the present moment, and that's a great concept. And I think most of us are able to pull that off in a focused sense. Like, we can right now think about being in the present moment, and that can bring us to that conscious awareness. But where we struggle is that we kind of slip out of that. And we find that as we go about our day, kind of get lost in the past, or we get caught up in ourselves. And later on, we reflect back and go, why did I act like that? Why did I react to that situation like that? That's not me. I want to do a better job of that. And that's where cultivating that present moment awareness comes in, where you want to be able to do that all the time without actually focusing on doing it. And so the challenge is, how do you do that? And to understand how you can get to that to be like a normal state for you, you have to break down what your consciousness actually is. So as we've been discussing, you are not that voice in your head, that conscious experience of what's going on right now. That's your mind. That is your mind interpreting the world around you by listening to your body. Your mind is taking in the input, the language, the message from the body in terms of the five senses. That's how the body communicates where you are in space and time. I can hear the waves crashing next to me on my right. There's the ocean over there. I can feel the sun beating down from atop. I can feel the texture of the sand underneath my feet. I can smell the salty sea air. Like, these senses are inputs from my body in terms of where I am in space and time and what's going on around me. And that's how the mind understands where it's at, right? So that conscious experience of where we are in the present moment actually comes through the body. Your consciousness is a fusion, and we're all a little different in this, of our consciousness from our body, our spirit, and our mind. And what do I mean by that, of consciousness of our body? Well, your body has an intelligence to it. It's not just a organism that is taking input from the world around it and passing it up to the brain. It's actually a conscious part of you. It's a required conscious part of you. It's the part of you that connects you to this world. And it has a relationship with the mind. The mind needs that input from the body in order to ground itself in, making its own decisions. That logical, judgmental, sometimes cynical mind of ours, it's dependent on the body to orient it in space and time. But so too, there's a consciousness from the spirit as well. And this is not a logical language that comes to us. Most of us don't hear spirit speaking to us in words. It isn't that spirit always manifests itself as, a visualization that can come through the eyes and ears, but rather spirit communicates to us through emotion and feeling, a degree of intensity. You can think of anxiety as, a negative feeling with a high degree of intensity. The opposite of that would be depression, negative feeling with a low feeling of intensity. But that connection to spirit is also part of the conversation of the body, spirit, and mind working together in harmony. The challenge we have is that not all of us have our body, spirit, and mind working in harmony. We may be primarily mind-based, like everything in our head is what's driving our conscious experience. We're kind of disconnected from the body, or we're not really attuned with spirit. Some people are different, like they're just completely conscious through their body. They don't think a lot, they just act. right? Very impulsive. And where we go from being out of balance, where we may be in different states of consciousness of our body state in terms of how connected it is to the mind, as well as how much we're listening to spirit and that conscious experience. That is where we all start at a different place, but we all aspire to get to that place of harmony and balance where the three are working together. Okay, so if the body, spirit, and mind each have its own intelligence and its way of communicating, and bringing ourselves into balance where all three of them are actively participating in the management of our life, that would be the goal. That would be the full embodiment of your true self. Each of them also has an orientation from a time perspective. Now let's start with the easiest, which is the body. The body, and this is very important for getting to present moment awareness. So the body, who's connected to the present moment through the five senses, is really always in the present moment. Like, the body does not have much of a connection to the past, has no concept of the future. If I pinch your arm right now, it hurts right now. If I stop pinching you, it stops hurting. Like, it is grounded in the present moment. The mind, its orientation is to the past. Our mind uses the past to create a logical construct of life in order to make decisions in the present moment. It's also why our mind can tend to be negative and focus on bad things that have happened to us and worry about them happening again. The spirit, on the other hand, is entirely grounded in the future. Its orientation is what's possible, what's coming next, what you are capable of doing. It knows your purpose, and it knows you. Well, it doesn't know, but it wants you to accomplish your purpose, right? So you can think of the body, spirit, and mind as also transcending the past, present, and future. All three looking at the management of you, your true self, from a different perspective and also from a different time orientation. So the mind tends to focus on the past. The spirit tends to focus on the future, and the body is grounded in the present moment. So to get present moment awareness, we bring ourselves to focus on the body, to pay attention to the body. Like in meditation, what are we doing? We're bringing the body and mind to a state of peace, which allows the spirit to emerge, right? So by activities that bring focus to the body, by paying attention to the body, we also allow the mind and the spirit to step into the background and to be able to let the voice of the body and the consciousness of the body emerge, right? So this can be done by mindfulness exercises, by paying attention to the body, but it also, most importantly, comes from connecting to the body in the present moment as you're living your life. Like, as I'm walking down the beach here, there is no part of this experience that I'm not taking in from my five senses. I can be lost in my thoughts. I can be like on my, have music in my ears and not really paying attention to the world around me. Or I can be deeply grounded to what's happening around me all the time. The sights, the smells, the feeling, the tactile feeling of my feet walking on which is now more of a rocky beach. Doesn't feel the same as the sand, right? So by practicing getting connected to the present moment in our daily lives, we start to feel a connection to the present moment. It starts to feel normal. It's not such a exercise that we have to purposely do. We find ourselves always being connected. And that practice of paying attention to your body in the present moment as you go through your life, that is exactly how you start to bring that present moment consciousness subconsciously, meaning without effort, into your daily life. So what I would encourage you to do is to take part of your life, meaning, sorry, I'm getting wrapped up in the dogs here. Take something that you do, a normal routine that you do in your daily life. And this doesn't have to be a meditation, yoga. No, this could be just like making coffee. But during the time that you're doing that activity, really connect to the five senses and pay attention to each one of them as you're doing that exercise. Then expand that to doing things that are more in motion, like going for a walk. You know, so too, when you get a little further, actually, maybe you're in a meeting. You're like, I'm gonna actually participate in the meeting and do my job. And at the same time, I'm really gonna pay attention to my 5 senses as I go through this. I can do both of them at the same time. You're tuning a muscle. You're developing a tool set to be able to bring that conscious experience into your daily life in a way that is no longer requiring effort. And that's when we make that shift to being in the present moment most of the time. We still will shift into the past. We still will shift into thinking about the future because that's part of the human experience. The combination of having a body, spirit, and mind is being more than just a mind-based experience. So these are easy ways for you to bring yourself into that present moment consciousness. It takes effort. It takes a little bit of training and putting some time into this, but it's definitely attainable to you. All right, I'm Darby. We'll talk soon.